Hey, listeners. This is my second episode, and today I felt that I might get a little bit off topic because we do have the pandemic going on. And first, to start the episode, I want to say thank you to all of the healthcare workers, all the essential workers, all the workers that are usually underappreciated until needed. Even though the pandemic is bad and, the coronavirus, COVID-19 thing is hurting a lot of businesses, sometimes it's silver lining in the clouds. Believe it or not, I mean, this time has caused us to be able to, at least for me, it started to make me be grateful for the things I took for granted. It's also bringing some families closer together. You took going to see grandma for granted when it was just something you can just freely do, but now it's like tomorrow I may not really be able to go see my grandmother or even see my parents, or simple things from, sitting at a bar and sparking up conversation with a total stranger is gone at this point, as of right now, until, a vaccine or something is created and everything goes back to normal, if it ever does. Those are things that, we just did every day and you didn't think was anything, but today that's changed. As simple as just going into the grocery store without being on a waiting list or wearing a mask or protective equipment. I mean, it's changed a lot, but let's be grateful for still being here, and grateful for the things that it did make us recognize that we were taken for granted. But as I was saying earlier, sometimes it's you got to look for the silver lining in clouds. From what I can remember from the last recession, there were great businesses that were born out of a recession. And with this pandemic, it gave a lot of business owners, including myself, a chance to reflect on their business and, ask the questions. Are we doing things as efficient as we can? Is there something I can do better? A lot of businesses that had brick and mortar stores might not have been concentrating on their online presence or, on the e-commerce side. But now with the pandemic going on, it's forced them to have to look at that. Or it shows that, if you thought you didn't need an online presence before, this showed that you needed one. And, also give a shout out to the people whose brick and mortar businesses are still going, and they adapted. And they're overcoming. Yeah, they might not be bringing the same money they were bringing when people were coming through the doors, but, they're still out here floating. As long as you're alive, you still got a chance. If your business is still alive, if you're still making some revenue, if you're able to keep some employees on the payroll, more power to you. And I salute you, because it's not an easy thing to do. And, back to what I was saying, when it was businesses born out of, this is a pandemic and it's, not a recession at this point. I believe, I mean, I know a lot of people have lost their jobs and filed for unemployment, and businesses are losing money. If it does turn into recession, let's just take a look back at the last recession, 2007, 2008 time frame, before the market recovered, when we had the housing bubble. you know, uh, Credit Karma was built then. WhatsApp was founded then. Venmo was founded then. Groupon was founded during that time frame. Instagram was founded during that time frame. Uber, Pinterest, Slack, and that's just to name a few. Square was founded during that time frame. That's just to name a few, just showing that during hard times, innovation can happen. You look at other ways to do things. Uh, you figure out solutions to problems, because the pandemic created problems for a lot of people. Whether that was financially, technology wise, be grateful for your health, because as long as you got that, you still got a chance to turn your business around. Launch that idea that you had. Just get after it. back to the subject at hand, like we were saying, launch that idea that you had. Now what the pandemic did give us, a lot of people work from home. A lot of people lost their jobs or were furloughed. What it did give us is time that we didn't have before when our schedules were too busy. The kids were going to school and you were going to work and had to take the kids to practice to their events after that. Or maybe you were just working a double shift, trying to make ends meet. But now, it gave you a little more time to do what you needed to do, what you've been wanting to do. You've been talking about launching that podcast, launching that vlog, starting a YouTube channel, building your website, updating it, building your social media presence. It gave you time to do that, believe it or not. And time is the most valuable thing you can have. You can't buy more of it. You can't extend it. Once it's gone, it's gone. And if you have it, you're doing better than a lot of people. There's a lot of people that didn't wake up this morning and wish they had more time. Or a lot of people who've, been working a whole lot and wish they would have spent more time with a loved one or with friends or things of that nature. Now, I don't want to sound like a preacher or nothing like that. I just want to just give you some of my insight on it. I've been thinking about, launching a t-shirt line, a podcast, and a few other things for a long time, but I was telling myself I didn't have enough time. Even though I could have channeled my inner Gary V and put in the late night hours to do it. I made excuses. I didn't have enough time. I needed to get sleep. I had to be ready to go for tomorrow. So I'm just as guilty as anybody else of that. So I won't sit here and say I'm holier than thou and I didn't take things for granted, because I did. And probably still will. But this did give me an opportunity to see some of the things that I were taking for granted. Some of the things that I was not taking advantage of, that I could have been. So those are some of the things that I was just speaking about today. It's not a long episode. I want to leave you with this. Stay positive. Even when the clouds are dark and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, keep that optimism up. Look for the chance to do the things you wanted to do. Look for the opportunity. You can still knock on doors, but sometimes you got to knock on doors in a different way. Back to Gary V, get in people's DM if you need your product to reach people. Send them a message, shoot them an email, contact them through their website. Just do whatever you need to do. Just find a way to make it work for you. During times like this, you got to get innovative. You got to think outside the box. And that's one thing that the pandemic did do, even though it hurt a lot of people, did a lot of damage financially and emotionally, mentally. It's going to make you think outside the box and figure out what all you can do. So hustlers, I'm going to leave you with that. And I hope you tune in for the next episode. I hope to have more for you. But I plan to keep the episodes kind of short, no longer than 30 minutes. Because I don't want to hold up all your day. I just want to give you a few ideas, talk about a few things, and keep it moving. Until next time, I'm signing off.